Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your seats. And a very warm welcome here to the Barony Hall at the University of Strathclyde this afternoon for the last of what's been a series of graduation ceremonies this week. Very autumnal weather, but very warm and welcoming in this hall. I know that many of you have travelled from across the UK. Welcome. Welcome to Glasgow. And for those of you that have travelled further afield, it's great to have our international student-supported tour. This is always a great time for the university as we celebrate the achievements of our students, and that's celebration enough. But today we have a couple of additional treats. Occasionally we have the privilege of welcoming people that are highly accomplished in their fields of endeavour in the public and private sector. And today we have two whose experiences and contributions will be shared with you. The first is Professor John Pickup of King's College London, about whom you'll hear more of shortly. And latterly, after the students are graduated and capped, we will hear a little bit about Dame Sue Bruce, who will be awarded the Alumna of the Year. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm sure it's going to enhance the memories that you have of this ceremony, but most importantly, as our graduands, as you currently are metamorphosed into graduates. So we'll enjoy that over the next hour. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the ceremony, and I will now declare the congregation formally open and invite Professor David Birch to present our honorary graduate. Thank you very much indeed.
Principal and Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you John Christopher Pickup, Emeritus Professor of Diabetes and Metabolism at King's College London and Visiting Professor in the Department of Physics at the University of Strathclyde. Professor Pickup is an internationally acclaimed authority on diabetes. His world-leading research spans medicine, biochemistry and sensors. He is a multidisciplinary researcher, medical innovator and practitioner of the highest order. With 400 million people with diabetes worldwide, 5 million deaths from the disease each year, and 10% of the healthcare spending of most developed nations, the disease has reached epidemic proportions. The dual challenges of measuring and controlling blood glucose levels rank amongst the greatest medical challenges of the 21st century. John Pickup's outstanding contributions towards addressing these challenges and producing a step change in diabetes care across the globe include initiation and development with Harry Keane of continuous subcutaneous insulin infusion therapy, a technology for achieving near-normal glucose levels in type 1 diabetes, and thereby alleviating many complications of the disease. This is now an established routine treatment for more than 750,000 diabetic people throughout the world, including 40% of type 1 diabetic patients in the USA and 18,500 patients in the UK, all supported by a large medical technology industry. He was the first to propose and investigate in detail the novel theory that type 2 diabetes and many of its complications are due to activation of the innate immune system, now increasingly a topic of international research. He has developed novel fluorescence sensors for continuous in vivo blood glucose monitoring that promise to break the dependence of diabetic people on inadequate intermittent finger prick technology that is presently used. Based on fluorescence lifetime measurement, the sensor is now approaching the stage of clinical trials and exploitation. It is in the latter area where I have been fortunate to collaborate with Professor Pickup since 1996. Our Strathclyde and King's College teams have jointly won 8 research grants from the Wellcome Trust and EPSRC. These include a £5 million Science and Innovation Award in nanometrology, and the proposal Single Molecule Sensing in Clinical Medicine, which has ranked first ahead of nearly 700 applications in a nationwide competition across all disciplines. Over 40 journal publications have arisen from our collaboration. John's contribution to knowledge is to be found in over 300 publications, including over 150 invited reviews and book chapters and 20 books and editions. Nearly 12,000 journal citations of his work bear testimony to its impact. His textbook of diabetes, co-authored with Gareth Williams, is the definitive text in the field. His many awards include the R.D. Lawrence Lectureship of Diabetes UK, the Goetsch Prize, the Boehring and Mannheim Fellowship of the Biochemical Society, the Bupa Foundation Research Award, the Mary Jane Kugel Award of the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, and the Diabetes Leadership Award of the Diabetes Technology Society. He is a great communicator and is regularly interviewed on aspects of diabetes on radio and television. His many prestigious lectures include the 2014 Banting Lecture in honor of the Nobel laureate and joint discoverer of insulin. To conclude, Professor Pickup is an ideal role model who has inspired staff and students at Strathclyde through his interactions in research publications, joint funding, and lectures. The award of an honorary degree is fitting recognition of the seminal contribution to this collaborative success by a modest man who has achieved such great impact on human well-being throughout a lifetime's commitment to improving diabetes care. It is with great pleasure, therefore, Principal and Vice-Chancellor, that, with the authority of Senate, I ask you to confer upon John Christopher Pickup the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
I create you Doctor of Science, honoris causa. John, it's a great pleasure to have you here today, and welcome to the Strathclyde family. Congratulations. Thank you.
Vice-Chancellor, members of the University, distinguished guests, fellow graduates, ladies and gentlemen, I'm really honoured and touched by your great kindness in giving me this special award. I was wonderfully surprised and pleased to hear about it. In fact, my family couldn't understand what was up with me. What's the matter with Grandpa today, Nana? He isn't grumpy like he usually is. I've been privileged to work closely with the University of Strathclyde for many years in a collaboration that has changed my career path in some surprising ways and some productive ways. And the university has created an exciting new scientific opportunity for me and led to lasting friendships. It's an institution with which I am proud to be associated, and I thank you, David, for your very kind and generous introduction. Surprise is a theme of what I have to say to you. If you are surprised that a clinician and scientist is addressing an audience of, I think, predominantly business graduates, then already we've something in common. But maybe there are some parallels between science and business which I hope will bond us, and I'll come back to that in a minute. But first, let me congratulate all of you who are receiving degrees today, as well as the outstanding faculty and staff who've ensured your success, and the family and friends who've encouraged and supported you. I look back so fondly to my own graduation ceremonies at Oxford, my parents so proud, the first person in the family ever to go to university, let alone become a doctor, and me as nervous then as I am now. We should all feel pleased and proud of ourselves. Well, I've been lucky to live two intertwined professional lives, one in science and one in clinical medicine. And I've enjoyed them both immensely, and many aspects of each have gone well, and many have not. But if you're expecting me to tell you my ideas on how to craft a successful career in only about 5 minutes or so, I'll have to speak extremely slowly to fill the time. Thank goodness it does not depend on great intelligence. I was an average performer at school and not one of those fantastically clever and annoying children who seem to be good at everything. Most of my teachers would be probably very surprised to see me standing here today. How on earth did I get into university? First, I worked a lot harder than most people just to keep up, but that also kept me one ahead. And secondly, I exploited the one small thing that I was quite good at, which was thinking scientifically. And third, I'm a bit peculiar. So tip number one for your career, I do not particularly recommend being idle, multi-talented, or normal. By being scientific, I mean questioning the status quo, assuming much of what we are told is wrong, generating new ideas to solve problems, and testing these using experiments. By being a bit peculiar, I mean that I have, I think, the typical characteristics of rather introverted people, relatively self-reliant and independent, not liking to do what everybody else does, not liking being told what to do, and paradoxically testing oneself by taking risks that will put you in uncomfortable situations that you could easily avoid. Even in nursery school, I think they must have thought I was a real maverick, a really annoying toddler, I should think. Maybe then there are some parallels between the business entrepreneur and what one might call the scientific entrepreneur. Many of the best businessmen, I imagine, also question the status quo, ideas, innovators, take risks where they should not and others would not. They also work harder than their fellows and are unusually independent. Most of my career in clinical science has involved developing and testing novel technology to improve the lives of people with diabetes. Surprisingly, though, at home, I hate, do not understand, and cannot work the simplest of everyday technology with its Twitter face and unexpected husband in the bagging area. When my wife was away from home recently, I spent 2 or 3 days in the dark because I couldn't work out where the blown fuse was, let alone how to change it. She came home and fixed it immediately. Anyway, in spite of all that, and as you've heard, in the 70s and 80s, we developed a new technology for managing diabetes. And I'm surprised but happy that insulin pump therapy, as it is now known, is used by so many people with diabetes throughout the world. And our work in recent years with this university aimed at developing new ways of sensing glucose in diabetes, I believe, has exciting potential for improving patient care. And I've known many of my patients at my hospital, guys, in London for nearly 40 years, both as patients and friends. They've been crucial contributors over the years to my research, volunteering, advising, sharing their experiences, helping and inspiring me in my research and clinical practice, and they truly are equal inventors of modern diabetes technology. And this leads me to my final point, the importance of the individual in our careers. though, of course, we know and love our institutions, the great hospitals, universities, and companies of the land often change for the better in society. Progress in health and wealth or whatever comes not through institutions as such, but through individuals and the collaborations and the good relationships between them, be they employees, employers, customers, patients, family, or friends. And I'm hugely grateful to all those individuals, not least my long-suffering wife, Selma, who have helped and supported me and saved my bacon on so many occasions. Fellow graduates, I have no advice to give you because, like me, you probably won't take any advice. I only have hopes and good wishes for your future. I hope you can question the status quo, develop new ideas, remain independent in much of what you do, at least in thought, work hard, value individuals and your relationships with them, and make the best use of your talents, however peculiar you are or others think you are. Whatever you decide to do, you will probably have detractors and doubters trying to discourage you. I hope you will go out there and prove them wrong. There is every likelihood you will be fantastically successful. Tell them I said so, then we'll all be delighted and surprised by what we've achieved. Thank you.
Principal and Vice-Chancellor, in the name of the University and by the authority of Senate, I present to you these students. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, for research in the Department of Human Resource Management, Anastasios Hadjisolomou. Eleanor Joanne Kirk. For research in the Department of Hunter Centre for Entrepreneurship, Andrew Craig McLaren. For research in the Department of Management Science, Emma Louise Comrie. For the degree of Master of Research in Research Methodology in Business and Management, Cara Ann Plem. For the degree of Master of Science in Human Resource Management, Maria Alexiadou. Sadia Halim Anwar. Cleo Arvaniti. Akash Bhatti. Kirsty Fraser. Alison Gemmell. Ifuikoza Efoza Igbenedion. Amara Javed. Reshmi Kalam. Mark Douglas Lees. Yasmin Christina Lewis. Stephanie Frances Lum. Gina Rosemary McLean. Heather Jane Michi. Usman Ali Nassim. Katie Nicholson. Vasilika Patali. Skadi Rausch. Satawat Singsak. Mohammed Salman Shafkat. Gaukar Zumagazina. In international human resource management, Titelope Adinike Adiwale. Martin Brooks. Michelle Elaine Hurricane. Kristen Leweski. Grace Jezululuwa Seye Ogedengbe. Prayag Sharma. Dudu Sheng. Wu Di. Fan Yang. Wen Yang. In business analysis and consulting, Jorge Mauricio Aguilera Guemez. Jorgen Day. Andre Emil Ellertson. Buyung Jun Huang. Kamila Kalivic. Arun Prakash Nakimutu. Mark Joseph Portelli. Bryony Jocelyn Ronnie. In marketing, Alistair John Bowes. Chey Ann Cho. Yang Gao. Chu Ting Shu. Elsebet Christina Hanusadottir Iversen. Chrysoula Kalaitsidou. G. Ko. Emma Sibbett. Leonidas Vrakas. Kun Zhao. In marketing with specialism in customer management, Sachin Agrawal. Debjit Biswas. Zhao Wen Kao. Tanwalai Chaisiu Watana. Wei Shan Chang. Zhu Jan Chen. Shan Yao Chao. Francesca Falchi. Jan Gerdes. Yutong He. Zhao Yu Huang. Hu Min Zhao. Nontia Karndej. Roiji Li. Naruemon Limsila. João Matos Dias Mota. Ranisara Fusara. Matthew Thomas Snodgrass. Nopawan Tongpia. Tranti Bich Han. Junhui Wang. Zhongyi Wang. Ying Lu Zhu. Yeldana Yernar. In international marketing, Rowena Afrin. Yuki Amanda Bachman. Ling Jun Kong. Mohammed Uzziah Mufti. Tanandorn Punchoa. Arne Christian Rebach. Pooja Jamnadas Sagar. Natida Swazdibut. Jianan Zhang. Yi Zhuan Yang. Sai Nan Zhu. In international marketing with specialism in customer management, Konstantina Chalatzia. Chang Chen. Li Wen Chen. Xinqian Chen. Nicolas Davano. Stefanos Dudonsakis. Panormitis Koutsoumanoulos. Diana Liao Mer. Jianfen Li. Yi Zhuan Li. Wan Chi Lin. Zi Jun Liu. Theodora Logki. Cecile Eve Migozzi. Iqbal Ahmed Mugheri. Petaranid Ingern Superlak. Rata Pornsasavat. Pornchanok Sarkarum. Nikita Shrestha. Varunyo Terapinho. Siu Han Daniel Wan. Hong Yu Wang. Min Chun Wu. Samon Manut Yuvachiti. Zhongyi Zhang. Eleni Pavlina Zlatini. In tourism marketing management, Ching Han Chen. Kirsty May McEwen. Constantina Moroni. Maria Papadaki. Anastasios Papamikalopoulos. Elitse Suarez. Natapong Toheng. Vanessa Christine Wegstein. Yassini Zitot. For the postgraduate diploma in human resource management, Geraldine Devine. Jennifer Louise Fairweather. Patricia Furter Tomatsos. Ailey Kirstine McKendrick. Jennifer Sarah McKenzie. Rachel Robb. Christine Sinclair. Tran An Tu. Adele Winfield.
Principal and Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present to you Dame Susan Bruce. Graduates, friends, families and colleagues, I'm delighted to introduce Sue to you all. Today we're celebrating the class of 2015. This is your day. Congratulations. You've earned your qualification and earned the right to stand tall as a graduate of the University of Strathclyde. And from now on, you'll join a 150,000 strong family of alumni, putting useful learning into practice. Each year, we celebrate the outstanding achievements of one of this group of past graduates through the Alumnus, or in this case, the Alumna of the Year Award. Recipients are inspirational individuals and role models. This is particularly true in the case of today's recipient, Dame Susan Bruce. The award recognises her outstanding contribution to local government and public service, and her exceptional dedication to improving city life. I'm pleased to welcome her husband John and mother Anne here today. Dame Susan was born in England before attending secondary school here in Scotland. She then studied for the first of her 3 qualifications from Strathclyde University. She qualified in 1976 with a diploma in youth work and community service from Jordan Hill College of Education. She started work in local government for Strathclyde Regional Council as a community worker, starting a golden thread of her career promoting economic prosperity alongside social cohesion. Her rapid rise led to ever more senior posts in East Ayrshire and East Dunbartonshire councils. But during this time, she also graduated with a Master in Philosophy and Government and a Bachelor of Laws, both from Strathclyde. And just to prove there are other universities, she earned a Certificate in Strategic Public Sector Negotiation at no less than Harvard's J.F. Kennedy School of Government. From 2004, Sue held 3 successive chief executive posts in Scotland local government. Firstly, she was promoted as chief executive at East Dunbartonshire Council, before in 2008 taking on what was probably one of the most challenging jobs at that time. She took over as chief executive at Aberdeen City Council. Years of overspending had created what was called at the time a financial black hole within the council. The former chief executive had resigned. The local government watchdog despaired that the council, quote, did not have the capacity to change. It was the sort of job that many would avoid, but Sue was drawn to it irresistibly. And with Sue's appointment, change certainly happened. She led a complete review of the structure and governance of the council, tough decisions taken with care and implemented with resolve. But a true indicator of her success at Aberdeen was that she managed to leave only 3 years later with the job done. But there was no question of a quieter follow-up. She then took on the even more challenging role of chief executive at the City of Edinburgh Council. And if Aberdeen had its financial problems, then Edinburgh had the trams. Over budget, years late, Sue has described settling down the tram project, what great understatement, as her biggest challenge. Of course, today, the trams are up and running, exceeding all passenger forecasts, and they've established themselves as an essential part of the capital's transport system. And much of the credit for that transformation must go to Dame Susan. The mediation process that she led, the rebuilding of fractured relationships, and her extraordinary people skills turned the project from something approaching disaster to, in the end, a great achievement. While at the council, Sue also led to the creation of the Edinburgh Guarantee, a £3 million scheme developed in partnership with the private sector, colleges and the third sector, to provide a guaranteed opportunity for 16 to 19-year-olds for an opportunity for work. Also in her professional life, Sue has served in key non-executive roles as chair of the board of Young Scot, a national youth information and citizenship charity, as chair of the Royal Scottish National Orchestra, as non-exec of the board of SSE, one of Scotland's leading FTSE 100 companies, and since 2013, Sue has been a visiting professor here at Strathclyde, a role which I'm looking forward to working with Sue going forward. And finally, Sue is no stranger to honours. In 2010, 2011, she was the Prince's Ambassador in Scotland. In 2014, she won the UK City Leader of the Year award, and she was made Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire in the 2015 New Year's Honours List. Over her career, Sue has displayed the highest standards of public life and successfully tackled the toughest challenges facing public service leaders. She has done so with great vision, by nurturing the organisations and the people she led, and by building strong partnerships across society. And throughout, her strong commitment to her own personal development has meant that she's been able to respond to the toughest challenges when thrown at her. So, it is with great pleasure, therefore, Principal and Vice-Chancellor, that I ask you to present the Alumna of the Year Award to Dame Susan Bruce.
So it's a absolute delight and honour for me to give you this award, the Alumni of the Year 2015, richly deserved, and welcome back to Strathclyde University. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Principal and Vice-Chancellor, David, graduates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is an enormous privilege to receive this award today. As you've heard from David, the University of Strathclyde has been an important part of my life now for over 43 years, beginning with what is now the School of Education. As you heard from David, I just couldn't stay away and returned to the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, firstly to the School of Government and Public Policy, and then to the Law School, to do what you have all been celebrating today, and that is to make a commitment to lifelong learning. And I take this opportunity to congratulate each and every one of you today on your outstanding achievements. Whilst in this vein, I should also like to congratulate the Principal and Vice-Chancellor on his recent award for entrepreneurial leadership in science and technology, a prestigious award made by the St Andrews Society of New York. Congratulations. The university has been forward-looking since the early days of John Anderson, who established the Place of Useful Learning, and under the current principal's leadership, the university has gone from strength to strength, now with 22,000 students from 100 countries and with 3,000 staff. The latest highlight, the opening of the Technology and Innovation Centre, exemplifies the university's commitment to leading, learning and influencing. As I watched your graduations today, it caused me to reflect on my own first graduation, earned in 1976 and delivered in 2009. As a student in the 70s, I, along with many others, was involved in peaceful protest at the severity of public spending cuts and the prospect of unemployment. And as a punishment, our graduation was cancelled and we all received our scrolls by post. In 2009, this matter was drawn to the attention of the then principal, Professor Sir Andrew Hamnett, and he invited us back to a ceremony, commenting that he had presided over many graduations that had run perhaps 33 minutes late, but had never run one that had run 33 years late. So never to be repeated, we hope. In the intervening years, I've often reflected upon those early experiences, the importance of people expressing themselves effectively about their aspirations and concerns, about the kindness and humour in this modern university of the 21st century, and on the opportunities I have had to continue my education, to challenge myself and to be challenged, to appreciate the importance of learning, discovery and hard work, and the value of association in whatever circumstances. David referred to some of the things I had accomplished, and one of the most important things, apart from getting the Edinburgh tram back on the tracks, has been the opportunity throughout my career to support the development of the economy and of young people as they make their way in life. The Edinburgh Guarantee, also mentioned by David, a programme established through True Partnership Working, has helped many hundreds of young people into their first positive post-school destination, and I have frequently reflected upon the public servants who initiated the job creation scheme in the mid-70s, who gave me my first step into work during that recession. I've never been out of work since and have never stopped learning, and I've also never forgotten that first opportunity. I'm certain that many of the participants in the Edinburgh Guarantee will do likewise, and an iterative intergenerational impact will be the result. Reflecting again back to my 1976 graduation by post, I had no idea then that my future would be as exciting, rewarding and fulfilling as it has been so far. There have been many influences on me. My family and my husband John, also a graduate of this business school, and my mum Anne, also herself a lifelong learner and still excelling in music exams, are both here today, and other family members who couldn't be here, unfortunately. and of course the influence of my other family, the University of Strathclyde. The journey, whatever route it takes, for me and for today's graduates, doesn't stop here. Thank you very much.
Well, inspiring words indeed, and I've thoroughly enjoyed this afternoon. I always enjoy these ceremonies, but hearing Sue and John sharing their experiences and seeing all our wonderful students today has been a fantastic end to what's been a very busy week. But first of all, ladies and gentlemen, let me reiterate our warm welcome to all of you here at today's graduation ceremony. On behalf of the university, I would like to congratulate every one of you, every one of our graduates now today on your awards. You've become Strathclyde alumni, and you have now become torchbearers, regardless of what you're about to embark upon. And like many other generations of Strathclyders, one of whom you've just seen, you have a great career ahead of you. And remember the Strathclyde platform that you've stood on, and make sure that you connect to us as you go forward. Today, as we said earlier, we've welcomed many people from across the UK, and indeed from all over the world. We're particularly delighted to see you here today to enrich the experience of everyone that's been here. Of course, these congregations are about the conferment of degrees, but they also act as a bridge between the past and the future. And today marks your own personal transition from student to graduate and the beginning of an exciting new phase of your own lives. For me as presiding officer, it's a genuine honour to perform the capping exercise. It's a very simple but ancient ritual, rooted in ancient China of some 2,000 years ago and latterly in the Middle East, to mark transition into adulthood. For each of you, when the cap touched your head, it was a formal recognition before your family, your friends and your lecturers of your hard work, the days spent in laboratories and lecture theatres, the nights in the library, and of course, ultimately, the challenge of the examinations. Thomas Edison, the famous American inventor, industrialist and electrical engineer, said that genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. I'm sure in the close proximity of the library, I'm sure that the Strathclyde ratio was inverted. Well, at least I hope they were. But today you have become fully fledged Strathclyders. Be proud of that. And with all that you've successfully navigated now, I know that you would agree that you couldn't have done it without the support and encouragement of your families and friends. And it's important that we acknowledge their part in the successful completion of your university studies. Our graduates and the university at large truly owe them an enormous debt of gratitude. Like John, I was the first one in my family to go to university. As it happens, here at Strathclyde University in the Electronic and Electrical Engineering Department, I know precisely the value of such support, and I'm sure that today's graduates and our university staff would like to take the opportunity to thank the families, friends and supporters for all that they've done to make today possible. Thank you very much indeed. Sir Isaac Newton, the historical physicist, said, and I quote, that I have seen further, or if I have seen further, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants. And please remember that your friends and your families and your academic colleagues have been providing their shoulders for you to stand on as you launch into your new careers. For our academic staff too, this is a very important day because ultimately your success is their reward. Strathclyde has sought to provide you with a high-quality education and a first-class university experience for all of our students, regardless of background. So let me now invite our graduates to join with me in thanking our staff for all that they've done to support you in your achievements. Thank you. Since our foundation in 1796 and throughout our history, the University of Strathclyde has remained faithful to our founding principles. We were established, and I quote, for the benefit of mankind. And it is worth noting that we were the only Scottish higher education institution to be established during the time of the Scottish Enlightenment. That's exciting, and remember that about your alma mater. We are now driving forward our modern strategy in that same exciting spirit, making it wholly relevant to the 21st century. Our founder, Professor John Anderson, a physicist or natural philosopher as it would be had in those days, had strong links with Benjamin Franklin, the American inventor and academic. Franklin was one of the founders of the University of Pennsylvania, established in 1751 under the motto of useful knowledge. And this inspired John Anderson and resonates beautifully with Strathclyde's motto of useful learning. And never has this philosophy been so relevant as it is now here some 219 years ago. This motto, known by all of our staff and our students, still defines our purpose as a leading international technological university. Across our campus and in the buildings that you may have passed on your way to the Barony Hall today, our academics and students are developing drugs to diagnose and fight diseases and illnesses. They're producing technologies and policy solutions to tackle climate change, to establish a low-carbon economy. They are revolutionising the global manufacturing industry, driving forward new innovation strategies. They continue their work in Africa to establish power and water supplies and to offer healthcare in remote villages. They're bringing prosthetic limb technologies to those in need in India. Many are working to inform public policy and national economic strategy. They're providing, importantly, people with opportunities to transform their lives and the lives of their families. And as I referenced earlier, we still attract many first-generation students here to Strathclyde. And finally, not least of which through our Strathclyde Business School, we are giving business and industry the tools they need to be more innovative, to promote economic growth, to be enterprise and entrepreneurial, to create jobs, and provide us all with a more sustainable and healthy quality of life. Of course, all of that is our assertion about our place in society, but of course external measurements are important for us too. In this last session, 2014 and 15, we were delighted to be given the highest possible ratings for the quality of our teaching and our teaching methods, showing our commitment to providing our students with the very best education and student experience. Late last year, in December, the UK National Assessment of Research Quality was completed and published. This happens every 5 or 6 years or so, and we were pleased with the results. Our Strathclyde Business School was number 6 in the UK in research intensity, a step up, and I know our Executive Dean, David Hillier, has even greater ambitions to push that on even further. We have the number 1 physics department in the UK in research quality. In terms of research intensity, our chemists and our biological scientists are number 4. 7 of our 8 engineering departments in the top 10, 4 number 1. And in humanities and social sciences, our government and public policy had an outstanding result alongside our law, social work, social policy and history. So the bar has been raised across Strathclyde to my delight and to the credit of my academic staff. So clearly Strathclyde is demonstrating its ability to have a disproportionate impact, primarily through the production of you, our excellent graduates, but also in the quality of our research and the highly effective ways that we've been developing to exchange what we know with both industry and public sector partners. It is clear to me, and I think the evidence shows, that the Scottish higher education sector is fulfilling a responsibility to act as a driver for sustainable economic growth, and Strathclyde has a distinct role in this national and international objective. Universities must be seen as a national investment. And with the Scottish Government committing some £1.1 billion per annum to higher education in Scotland, the sector delivers over £7 billion worth of value back into the Scottish economy. Importantly, much of this is achieved because of our freedoms to operate, our ability to set our strategy, to be challenged by our governors, our court, to make sure that everything is sustainable and appropriate for our mission. And of course, ultimately, Strathclyde, like many other universities, plays back into society and economy. And it's exactly the position that we must maintain and guard it with great energy. And certainly, I should say, and I've had to edit many of the highlights that David's faculty has managed to achieve this past year. Everything that the Strathclyde Business School has been doing over this past year gives me great confidence for the future. Let me say just a few things. In The Economist, they have the Which MBA Education Ranking Programme, and for 2015, this placed Strathclyde 27th in the ranking schools worldwide. Strathclyde was number 1 in the world for student diversity, the number of industry sectors from which students applied, and the percentage of alumni who then went on to grow their company or receive promotions since their graduation. The Global Enterprise Monitor, or GEM survey, was released in September, authored by Professor Jonathan Levy in the Hunter Centre for Entrepreneurship. This report is eagerly awaited every year, showing the analysis of entrepreneurial activity, and this year found that a family business background can double the chances of starting your own business. Important policy information for government and those investing in these areas. Our students are doing wonderfully well too. Sergio Costa, who recently gained his PhD from Strathclyde, was named the winner of the Heitzer Doctoral Dissertation Award, made by the Entrepreneurial Division of the Academy of Management. Accountancy and Finance was ranked first in the UK in the Complete University Guide rankings. The business school also secured top 10 rankings in marketing, hospitality, and business and management studies. Business school student Lynn Howie was announced as the winner of the Future Business Leader of the Year award at the Target Jobs Undergraduate Programme 2015. A wonderful young woman called Rebecca Pick, a BA Business Enterprise student, won investment of over £60,000 from the Gabriel Investments to help further her business idea called Pick Protection. This business is introducing an evolution of the traditional personal attack alarms into the market. And in this very hall last month, Rebecca was the first undergraduate ever to receive the main award in the Converge Challenge programme. Professor Leslie Walls of Management Science was selected for the 1906 award from the International Electrotechnical Committee, commemorating the IEC's Year of Foundation, and honours experts, deep experts from around the world who are recognised for exceptional achievement. And one of our students, Abrun Kazi, won the prestigious Endeavour Research Fellowships programme, sponsored by the Australian government, that runs a 4-month research visit to the University of South Australia. And the last thing I would say, amongst many others that I might, the Financial Times ranking of the best schools in Europe placed Strathclyde first in Scotland and 32nd in Europe. And I can only tell you there are many, many hundreds of business schools in Europe, so that is an enormously creditable positioning. And this is based on the performance in 4 of the rankings published by the FT each year on the MBA, the Executive MBA, Masters in Management, and Executive Education. So, graduates, this is the exciting context within which you should view your awards. You're now graduates of a university that places students at the heart of all that we do, valuing education and research excellence in equal measure, and indeed through combination, and supporting close connections with society at large and the business world in particular. Truly, we are the place of useful learning. And with regard to internationalisation, the best universities contribute, collaborate and compete on the international stage. We are no different. And our global institutional partners include, for example, in North America, Stanford, MIT, and NYU, global brands. In China, we are working deeply with Tsinghua in Beijing and Peking universities, and the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, where only yesterday their president, Professor Tony Chan, was here in this hall receiving an honorary degree. In Singapore, we work closely with Nanyang Technological University and the National University of Singapore. And of course, as you've heard from Professor David Birch, the deep relationships we have with colleagues here in the UK and across Europe. But of course, our students themselves benefit greatly from being part of an international university. This helps them emerge with the skills necessary to help Scotland play its full part in the world. And our students will have been exposed to cultures and traditions from across the world, indeed from more than 100 countries. But importantly, all of you leave here today understanding your obligations as global citizens. And as well as growing our global impact, we take our local responsibilities very seriously. Some 3 years ago, I had the honour of leading the independent Economic Review or Commission of Glasgow's future. That was an enormous task, and it was the heavy lifting was done by many others. I chaired that group, which ultimately led to pointing us towards key sectors in energy, advanced engineering, finance and business, life sciences, and it's reshaping Glasgow's place not only in the UK but in the world. I now chair the Glasgow Economic Leadership Board that had a significant contribution to Glasgow winning a £1.4 billion city deal, which is now, I know, attracting further activity across Scotland to bring greater investment here into our country. And in terms of keeping our doors wide open, we are one of Scotland's research-intensive institutions, but we are part of that family that has the highest number of people coming from some of the most challenged backgrounds and communities across Scotland. We are proud of this. This is called widening access. It's in our DNA to do that, and we've managed to grow our entrance requirements whilst growing the number of people that we have from those backgrounds. One example in particular, I should say, is the Children's University in Scotland. I am the Chancellor of the Children's University, and only a month ago we had this year's latest graduates from the Children's University, 7 to 12-year-olds. They are based in 20 of Glasgow's most challenged schools. We issue these youngsters, and there are 2,000 kids across the city now with their learning passports. So when they go to Kelvin Grove Art Gallery for a visit, very importantly with their mums and dads, many of whom have never stepped across the threshold of a university, they get their passport stamped. If they go to a lecture here at the university, they get another stamp. If they go to an after-class club in their school, they get another passport stamp till it's full, and then they come here to graduate bachelor's degree from the Children's University. As my colleagues know, I love that ceremony because it really makes me look tall. It's fantastic. Although I have to say, some 12-year-olds, I have to stretch to cap them as well. If these youngsters stay in the programme from age 10 to 12, with their next learning passport, they can get a master's degree. And from 12 to 14, they can get a PhD from the Children's University. So look out, colleagues, there are PhD students coming your way in a couple of years as they join Strathclyde's degree programme. What that should tell you, colleagues, is that Strathclyde is deeply committed to its social responsibility, as well as its pursuit of knowledge discovery and provision of a great education. And that's what I would call a dynamic place of useful learning. So, if I characterise this place in 2015, I would describe us as having ambition, focus and momentum, with the necessary agility and commitment to take our strategy forward, even in these times of uncertainties in our sector. It's a great privilege for me to lead this wonderful organisation with the outstanding support I get from my executive team, as well as our broader community of academics and our professional services and support staff. I believe strongly that our founder, John Anderson, would clearly recognise what we are doing as the realisation of what he sought to establish some 200 plus years ago during the Enlightenment. We now seek, in our modern society, to be an agent for positive change in Glasgow, in Scotland, across the UK and on the international scene. But today, most importantly, I am certain that today's graduates will build tomorrow's world and that 2015 can indeed become a vintage year. So in this context, and as you leave the hall today, you'll leave not just with an award, but with a responsibility. Today's graduates, as you heard from David Wilson, join a community of almost 170,000 individuals from across the world. So whatever you do with your degree, and wherever you may choose to work, remember that as well as academic scholarship, useful learning also means applying your knowledge for the benefit of others, making a positive impact for yourselves and the communities that you belong to, respecting diverse views and acknowledge freedom of expression and thought, and reaching conclusions and resolving disputes by reason. These characterise the core values of your university. And finally, let me return to today's celebration. We are all here to mark the achievements of those receiving awards. So on behalf of the university, I would like to extend my sincere congratulations to all of you and wish you every success in your future careers. Please stay in touch with us, let us know what you're doing, and well done again, and please enjoy the rest of this very special day. Thank you very much. So, colleagues, we come to a close. Sadly, the weather is not terribly nice outside. There will be a procession from the platform party as we leave the hall. There is a reception available to you in the Lord Todd Hall, which is about 100 yards to the right of the building as you leave. You are most cordially invited to join us for a refreshment, a chat, and we'll get a chance to meet some of you. Once again, thank you for being here. It's been a wonderful occasion. Let me now declare the congregation formally closed and ask you to be upstanding. Thank you very much indeed.